I made Vogue patterns, simplicity patterns, I mix and match patterns. I did it all. My name is Gwen Thomas. I've been a seamstress the majority of my life. I worked at it for 40 years. It was taught to me. I did not go to school for it. Some I learned from my mother, which made me very interested in sewing. And I went into the factory and I became an apprentice because they thought that I had it running in my blood. I remember when I started in the factory, if you weren't making enough money in this factory, there was a company upstairs that paid you 10 cents more, and everybody would just go from one place to the other because you was making more money. In the building where I worked in, Alfred Angelo made them wedding gowns. They were in there. Then you had McGregor's used to make sweaters. 74 was when it began to change, because when the Fair Trade Act came through and the the companies found out that they could get stuff made in the third world countries. If we were making $300 or $400 a week, then when they calculated it from Guatemala, Costa Rica, people were making it for 10 cents a day or 2 cents a day because it was cheap. So then what they did, they took all of this stuff and they sent it to the third world countries. But then when they didn't make it right, then all that work came back and we operators had to fix it. And next thing you know, the factories was closing up. We were out of jobs. When they closed the factories on the Army bases, then we knew we were in trouble. In manufacturing, we were the first peoples to go. But what the United States can do is get back up on their feet if they would bring manufacturing back here. But they were looking for a cheaper way of putting this stuff out, and that's what got us in trouble. And we have to, as a people, demand that they bring this stuff back to the United States. That's why they say, make sure it's made in the USA. But I enjoyed all of my 40 years plus, working in the factory because I learned. And I was hungry to learn from the age of 19 years old when I first sat in the factory. And I retired when I was 62.
It uses a whole bunch of airfare and just all this complication and the carbon footprint and a lot of unnecessary shipments and everything that are going on. And I also think that it would really reduce time if it was just all done locally. And time is money. If you can get things out faster, that could help in some ways too. I guess growing up, I was raised on organic food and everything. My mom's always been about what you put into your body really affects how you feel all the time and kind of will affect you in the long run and help you live a better, healthier, and longer life. And when I started learning about the ideas of sustainable design and everything, I got really interested in that. Just kind of in my own way, how I want to save the world has become my passion. My collection's about the death and rebirth of Earth. So I go through land formation, which is lava, mountains forming. There'll be an ice age and all the continents coming together and extreme weather changes. This fabric right here is a bark fabric and it's from Germany, so it's made from the bark of trees. It's 100% organic. And the base of the dress is cupro, which is a viscose fiber, and it's supposed to be one of the new up-and-coming fabrics in the world of fashion. The process of making it is not completely sustainable and it's not completely organic, but it's the fiber itself is more biodegradable and stuff. Just the properties of the fabric is what makes it more sustainable. which have the bark fabric and everything, and recycled and tumbled sea glass. So it's like manufactured, but it's made from recycled glass. A lot of like controversy in everything you do for sustainable design, because there's carbon footprint and how much water and everything is used or flight. So you have to give and take a little for everything. And since this was like a one-of-a-kind, unique fabric, there's so much good about it in the sense of it being organic. But the downside of it was that I had to order it from Germany, and there's shipping and everything. And a lot of people don't realize that doing things in a sustainable manner don't mean you have to use like dull, boring colors. Like a lot of people associate it with like just like very neutral, drab colors. You can get great colors, and you can dye things naturally. Also, if I wasn't doing this sustainably, I would have never come across this bark fabric, which is one of the things that's really going to stand out in my collection. So it's led me to find something like unique that's really going to stand out for me that nobody else will have.